the concept that you are safe because you're married is wrong. And the HPV
but at the
test,
same time, you don't want to put a stigma to it.
So yeah, this is a very tricky situation.
HPV vaccination is to prevent our children to have future issues. And when they are going to get married to somebody sometimes in their lives.
So can I get 3 doses now? Assalamu alaikum, I'm Fatima Al Mansoori and today I'm with Dr. Mehnaz for a special subject today. We're at the gynecology department and today we're going to talk about HPV vaccination. So Dr. can you tell us what is HPV and why do we need the vaccination for it?
HPV is one of the viruses which causes some cancers in men and women. It causes cancer of cervix, cancer of penis, cancer of vagina, cancer of back of the throat, and it's something that we can prevent. Up to 90% we can prevent. Some of the viruses cause some diseases, and we vaccinate. We learned from Corona that vaccination works. So this HPV is again something that causes problem in our children, in our adults, and later on in people's lives. So it's good to vaccinate people. Normally, CDC, which is Central Disease Control, says that children between the age of 11 to 14, you should vaccinate them. 14 is very much recommended because if they have it at that time, there are only 2 vaccines. One at the beginning,
2 doses, yeah.
2 doses. The second one is between 6 to 12 months, and if it is after 15, like adults for 3 doses. The 3 doses.
So can I get 3 doses now?
Too late. If you are below 26, yes.
No, too late for me.
If you are below 26.
So if someone is above 26, they cannot get the vaccine and it will not work in the body?
It can, but it won't be as effective.
It will not be
Why
effective.
we are saying between 11 to 14, that's the time that antibodies are working the best. And minimum this works for 10 years because they have done studies that up to 12 years that the number of cervical cancers, the all genital cancers have reduced between 88 to 95%. So when this much has reduced, you say how people are saying, why should we have it? Or they are anti-vax, they are always anti-vaccine people. But when we know it works because statistics since 2006 now it's long time.
And does it work for someone who already contracted the virus?
No, it doesn't prevent, but
it doesn't
still,
it's not a treatment.
Still produces antibodies, still prevents, but is not used for prevention when they are already having. But we give as a booster to people who have, they know that it's not going to work that well, but still they take it because there still is antibody to support.
Yeah, so if they already contracted the virus, their body will need the antibodies to kind of reduce the symptoms maybe, yeah?
Why begin early? Because HPV vaccine is very prevalent. Many people have it. We have high risk and low risk. And we know that people come with warts and things like that, and they say, oh, I got some pimple. You look at it, it's warts. So there are vaccines which prevents only warts, but there are better vaccines like Gardasil we have now, like warts and also general HPV.
This is a good thing that you mentioned that it's a common virus and many people will have it and many people will be exposed to it, yeah, because there is a misconception that if you are married you will not get this virus and this is only for people who are active. Yeah.
It comes through sexual. It doesn't come from air. And it doesn't come from that. But again, you could contract it. you could sleep with somebody and that person has left once with somebody else and they have it. So, but in everybody also doesn't have disease. Like some people have HPV and nothing happens to them. Normally in later life, how we find out when we do cervical smears. I'm going to talk to you later on about cervical smear and another talk. Because there are things that we can prevent. And especially diseases in women we can prevent. So
yeah, but I mean it's a misconception that if you are married you should not be you will not need the vaccination, because you can never tell anyway where your partner is gone and what your partner has done. You can never tell that. And the HPV
but at the
test,
same time you don't want to put a stigma to it.
yeah,
because if somebody is positive, you don't want to say is positive and then bring problem in their marriage.
the marriage, exactly. So yeah, this is a very tricky situation. But I mean, usually all the tests before marriage, they don't require such things. So when you're getting married and then you think that you're safe, you're actually not safe, because you don't know that the person you're with, whether maybe they were married before to somebody else who has it or something, and it can
Just one incident is possible to transfer.
Exactly. This is why it's spreading widely, because the concept that you are safe because you're married is wrong. This is what we want to pass through. Nobody is safe, and even married people, they can actually get it somehow.
Yeah, that's the fact that what's the purpose of vaccination? Really?
Not to stigmatize, not to create lack of trust in
that's
marriage.
HPV and that's for HPV testing. HPV vaccination is to prevent our children to have future issues. And when they are going to get married to somebody sometimes in their lives, they don't know who the man has slept with who, the woman has slept with who. Doesn't mean that that person was really promiscuous or something, but that's life. So,
and the boys also, it's really important to understand that boys also need it, because mostly they are afraid of the women, the complication when it comes to women's health, but also men do get cancers as well.
Penile warts, penile cancer, rectal cancer, oral cancer, for both. And it's a good thing for us to prevent our kids from having.
Fantastic. Hopefully we can raise the awareness of how important these vaccinations that can actually save lives, because these cancers can be
treated. If it's prevented. Before anything else, prevented. And if we know through the screening, we can prevent and treat, but through the vaccination, we can prevent.
Which we come again to the screening and the pap smear and all of that, and the importance of it for early detection, because these cancers are always, when you catch it at a later stage, then it's...
I'd like to talk to you on another occasion about this screening test, because screening is what we need in most of the time. We'll talk about it.
Thank you so much for being with us, and thank you, doctor, for sharing the information. And please get vaccinated. Vaccination is really important and it saves lives through prevention.